All right, you guys, let's get started. Welcome to our team training webinar tonight. Always appreciate you guys taking the time out to jump on the line here on typically Sundays, but tonight we're here on Monday, so hopefully all of you guys had a really fun and safe Memorial Day. I know we went to the pool and got rained out for a little while, but went back. So hopefully you guys had a really great weekend, got to relax and see some friends and family, and I saw a bunch of new people joining the challenge this weekend. So obviously you guys were making some moves over the weekend, so awesome job. We are going to be talking today about how to become a recruiting superstar. This is a book that I ordered off of Amazon. I just got it in a few days ago, and as soon as I started reading it, I was thinking, wow, this is definitely going to be some training material right here. So we're just really going to scratch the surface tonight. I plan on this being probably a 5 or 6 webinar series, 5 or 6 week webinar series, because there is a ton of super useful information in this book, and none of it is rocket science. None of it is going to take us away from the system that we follow every single day. It's just going to really start to teach us some mindset, some skills, some strategies on really being able to sponsor and enroll more people into your ViSalus business. If you have never read a book by Mary or her husband, what's her husband's name? I can't think of what it is right now. They've written a couple books together, but Mary Christensen and her husband, they have written tremendous books all about the network marketing industry, and they just really do a super job of breaking down the information so absolutely anybody can understand it and really be able to implement what they're teaching that day. So here we go. We're gonna do this here. So she starts out talking about really asking why people become network marketers. And she said really it comes down to 2 simple questions. And one question is, what is the #1 reason people start a network marketing business? It's because someone asked them, right? Okay, what is the #1 reason people don't start a network marketing business? It's because nobody asked them, okay? So I want you to understand that it doesn't really make sense for you to become frustrated about new promoters not joining your team if you're not out there openly asking them to join. But we're going to talk a lot tonight about who to ask, how to ask, why to ask, all these different things. So here we go. One thing that you really want to understand is the fact that no matter how great your products or how much support you get, how great your products are, I should have said, or how much support you get, your success will be up to you. Look, you guys, we know we have the best products on the planet. We have the only true challenge on the planet. We know these products do exactly what they say they're going to do. We know people can make tremendous results on their challenge. We know that people every single day, a lot of people every single day, are getting in a brand new BMW. We also know that every single day 6-figure earners are created in this company. So we have all that. We have the products. You guys obviously have the support. But ultimately, your success is going to be up to you. And the question that you want to ask yourself is, how much success do you think you deserve? And when I read that question in the book, I thought it was really interesting because this is a process that I've gone through over a lot of years, but that's a very, very straightforward question. And if you haven't asked yourself that question yet, you want to ask yourself that question right now, because a lot of the reasons why you tend to hold yourself back or you hold your team back is it comes really down to how you are able to answer this question. And for some reason, for so many of us, we were programmed somewhere along the way to think that we maybe don't deserve tremendous, ridiculous, insane levels of success. So if you don't believe you deserve that, it's time for you to ask yourself why you believe you don't deserve that. And if you can't come up with a realistic answer. You need to just come to the realization that somehow along the way you were programmed to believe that you did not deserve insane levels of success, and I'm telling you right now you do. Okay? So that reprogramming can literally happen in an instant if you want it to. It doesn't require sitting on somebody's couch for 10 years. It doesn't require reading the probably, hundreds of books that I did to come to that realization. You can literally ask yourself enough questions to realize that it's not true and create your own truth around the fact that, yes, you absolutely deserve amazing success, okay? And if you don't think you deserve success, you'll find 1,000 excuses why it won't happen for you. Your mind is so amazingly powerful that you will always find exactly what you're looking for. Here's the example I always give all the time for a lot of different situations. If I told you tomorrow on your way to work to look for all the red Hondas on the road, you would get to work and you would be like, oh my gosh, I never realized there were so many red Hondas on the road. Were there any more red Hondas on the road tomorrow than there probably was last Thursday? No, but you were looking for red Hondas, so guess what you found? Red Hondas. This business and your success in this business and in life is the same way. If you're looking for reasons for it not to work, just like I posted on the customer page the other day, we know every single day there are people that join this challenge and have already decided that it's not going to work for them. And we know that there are hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands and millions of people that it is working for, whether we know them personally or not. So if you don't think you deserve success, you'll find 1,000 excuses why it won't happen for you. I'm too busy. My kids are too little. My kids are involved in too many activities. We'll throw our kids under the bus all day long and make them like our ultimate excuse, right? I work too many hours. I travel. I don't have time. I got to watch American Idol every week. I can't do a challenge party in those nights. Whatever it is, you will find an excuse if you don't believe you deserve success. So always remember, you will find exactly what you're looking for. So I really suggest to you that you don't give yourself a free pass to fail. This was a great quote that was in the book. Courage is resistant to fear, mastery of fear, but not absence of fear. Okay? I mean, I still get butterflies in my stomach when I have to, pick up the phone and call certain people, or if I know I'm doing a challenge party at a certain person's house, or I know that I'm getting ready to do a 3-way call with somebody. I mean, that fear, it really subsides, but it's okay if it's not completely absent. You do it anyway, okay? And don't buy into the belief that you don't have what it takes to succeed. Just don't even believe that for a second. We'll come back to that in a couple of slides in a really interesting way for you to see it. But if you lack confidence when you start, use that to your advantage. Do not sit around and wait and spend time in your back office and watch videos on YouTube and read everything in the resource library while you're gaining confidence, okay? Keep in mind that you can use that to your advantage. And what she talks about is that when you do it anyway, even though the confidence isn't quite there yet, you will know exactly how your new promoters feel when they start. And the feel, felt, found concept is extremely huge. You can literally say, I know how you feel, I felt the same way, and this is what I found. When I had someone sitting there with me and I was doing my pre-party, once I got through those first 3 or 4 calls and realized that the telephone wasn't going to bite me and the person on the other end of the line wasn't going to hang up on me, I realized that I gained some confidence, and it took maybe 10 minutes. So use that. Don't try to get beyond that. Use that as part of your story. Every single day of your journey in this business is about creating your story. And the more your story is going to relate to people, the more powerful it is going to be. So the people that come into this business, and maybe they've already been network marketing experts for the past 25 years, and they were able to sponsor 100 people in 3 days, those stories are not as compelling as the people that had to maybe borrow money to get this business started, or spend the last $500 they had on their credit card, or sell some stuff on Craigslist to get started in this business, and they had just moved to a new town and they really didn't know who they were going to talk to, but they just reached out to their friends and family first, and they were their best products of the product, and they had never had experience in the industry before, and in 12 months they had completely changed their financial situation. I mean, those are the stories that people want to hear. So be okay with creating that story. And part of the challenges that you're going to overcome are going to be the best scenes in your story, okay? Think about it as a movie. The ones where the person's got to fight to come through, and they're the underdog or whatever that is. Whenever those people come through and overcome that challenge, that is the best feeling in the world. So instead of just watching that in movies, or cheering on your best American Idol singer, have that adventure, have those successes in your life for yourself. And this business is the perfect opportunity for you to do that. There is no other industry on the planet that lets you do it like that. So this is really cool. If you put yourself in a room of network marketing achievers, and you won't immediately spot an obvious common denominator. Okay, when you walk into the regional success training and there's 2,500 people in there, the achievers are not necessarily going to just jump out at you, unless of course they have a black jacket on in our case. But basically what you're going to notice is that every socioeconomic background, education level, profession, job, ethnicity, race, personality, and age will be represented in that room. It won't be all white people. It won't be all black people. It won't be all Asian people. It won't be all Latino people. It won't be all wealthy people. It won't be all poor people. It won't be all college-educated people. It won't be people that live in the suburbs. It won't just be people that live in the country. It will be people from every single corner of this country, okay, looking all kinds of different ways with all kinds of different backgrounds. So you have to look beneath the surface to see what those people have in common. The ones that are in that room that are having success. What is it? There's got to be some kind of common denominator, considering they're coming from all over the place and have all different types of backgrounds. So what is it? One of them is their belief in the business. Their belief in the business. It's not something they're trying. It's not something they're going to check out. It's not something they're going to hope is going to work. They have true belief in the business. They also have the ambition to succeed. That doesn't mean that they've had a major outward success before. That doesn't mean that they've been the CEO of a company. That doesn't mean that they've reached the top of the comp plan in another network marketing business. But they sure as heck have the ambition to succeed. And the other thing that they have is the courage to make it happen. And guess what? From what I've found personally, courage is something that you have to really just do and experience to gain, okay? In order to really have courage, you have to move through something that you typically would not move through, or do something that you typically would not do. But every single person, if you had one 5-minute conversation with every person in that room that was having success in Vice Dallas, I guarantee they have belief in the business, and the ambition to succeed, and the courage to make it happen. So you really want to understand the fact that you can be whoever you want to be, have whatever you want to have, and do whatever you want to do. Again, if you do not believe that, or that's something that's really hard to really take in right now, ask yourself why. Ask yourself what you were programmed to believe that now makes you feel like that isn't a truth for your life. That you can be whoever you want to be, have whatever you want to have, and do whatever you want to do. At what point did that not feel possible to you anymore? Because when you were a kid, it absolutely did. but somehow along the way you got reprogrammed to believe that that was a fairy tale, or that was living in La La Land, or that was being a dreamer, and that wasn't the real world. Okay? Okay, so moving on to some more strategic things, we're going to talk about 2 ways to recruit. And what she talks about is the number 1 way that a lot of people do, she refers to as the ambush. And the ambush means that you approach everyone that you know and meet and hope they will hear you out. Okay? You're just talking to everybody. And let me just clarify this, because I know a lot of you are saying, but on your getting started training, you say, right, everybody that you know on the list, but just see this whole thing out, okay? It's going to make sense in a minute. Just understand that when you just reach out to everyone and you approach everyone you know and meet and just hope they'll hear you out, that the rejection rate is going to be very high, because you're going to come across like you are trying to only help yourself by basically convincing others to do what it is that you want them to do, and you're probably going to talk more about what you're going to get out of it as opposed to what they're going to get out of it. Or you're talking about what they're going to get out of it, but it's like making absolutely no sense at all. Okay? So that's the ambush method. The number 2 way to recruit is to really connect with people. You decide before you approach exactly why you thought of this person. Okay? So I do emphasize in the Getting Started training, when you're calling people, you say, hey, have you heard about the challenge? This is what I'm doing. These are my goals. This is why I thought of you. Just for someone to feel like you were thinking about them is going to make them want to hear what it is you have to say. Okay? We are very ego-driven individuals. It's nothing wrong with it. It's just, how we've evolved as people, and the ego is very present. And, without going into a whole lot of detail about how the ego works and things like that, the best way for us to always understand that we operate from an ego perspective is if I put out a group picture, like if I put out a team picture and every single one of you guys were in it, I can pretty much promise you that all of us, including me, would look for ourselves first in that picture. Okay? So that's just the reality of things. So if you can make someone feel like they were chosen very specifically for you calling them, they're going to be more likely to listen to what it is that you have to say, as opposed to them feeling like, they're a B and you're just calling them because their last name starts with B. Okay? Your prospect will see that you genuinely thought of them and why. I called you because. So they are going to be more likely to listen to what it is that you have to say. Does that mean they'll join? Maybe, maybe not. But if you approach them with a genuine desire to help them, you will dramatically increase your success rate. Okay? So understand that when you pick up the phone, I've told you guys so many times that only 7% of really verbal communication is actually what is coming out of your mouth. Okay? What you are communicating through the phone or to that person, if you're face-to-face, or even in an email, they can sense whether this is about you or whether this is about them. So if you genuinely and truly, authentically come to them because you thought of them, and because there was something about their character or something about their personality or something about their ambition or something about whatever it is about them, understand that if they really genuinely know that that's where you're coming from and that's why you picked up the phone to call them, your success rate will dramatically increase. So we're going to talk for the rest of the time about how to understand and adopt the following principles, okay? These are some things that you really want to start to take into consideration when you're prospecting. Principle number 1 is to find a need and fill it, okay? You have to know where your prospects stand before you start trying to sell them on your opportunity. It's called listening. If you spend 80% of your time learning about your prospects' ambitions, experiences, personality, circumstances, and priorities, you won't waste your time or there shooting arrows that don't apply to or interest them. The 20% of the time you spend talking will be right on target. Okay? If you're excited about this business and you're talking about a free BMW and that is the last thing on their radar, please don't talk about a BMW. If making $50,000 a month is not on their radar, talk about making $500 a month. If them leaving their job is not something that they've even ever thought about ever, don't talk about them automatically leaving their job. You want to meet people where they are. They are not going to buy into some pie, what sounds like some pie in the sky promise to them. They will most likely, the average person will buy into making an additional $500 to $1,000 a month more than making $50,000 a month, okay? But the only way that you're going to find that out, as well as you may think you know that person, if you really ask questions, guided questions, and you really listen to the answer without just automatically thinking about how you want to respond to what they're saying, you will be amazed how much you can learn about a person in 5 or 10 minutes. Okay? Find out what they want. Find out what their need is, and our responsibility is to fill it. Principle number 2, duplication. Okay? This is great. Imagine you want to recruit 1,000 people into your downline. Okay? You want 1,000 people on your team. What if you recruit one person a month? How long will it take to recruit 1,000? It will take 83 years. 83 years, okay? I don't think most of us have that much time. What about one person a week? Okay, instead of one person a month, you're going to sponsor one person a week. You'll be busy, but in just about 20 years, you'll reach your target of having 1,000 people on your team. Okay? But check this out. What if you taught every person you recruited to recruit and each one did the same? How long would it take to bring 1,000 people into your downline? It would potentially take only 10 months. Not 83 years, not 20 years, but about 10 months to bring 1,000 people into your organization. Okay? That is called duplication, and that is why Visalis has created, honestly, the simplest system on the planet of network marketing, and that is why we follow it to a T and do not try to reinvent the wheel, because it is highly, highly duplicatable. All right, principle number 3. The more you say, the less they will hear. Okay? Words will not convince people to buy your products or your opportunity. The more time you spend talking, the less time they will spend listening. The faster you talk, the more desperate you will sound. Basically, what you want to understand is that people are a little like water. We tend to follow the easiest route. Every complication, every unnecessary detail gives us an excuse to say no or not now. That's why I make it very clear at challenge parties that even though I'm a fitness trainer, please do not feel like if you're not already working out that now you have to start going to the gym 3, 4, 5 days a week. It is about meeting people where they are at. We do not want people to believe that the challenge is something where they have to completely turn their world upside down. All they're doing is drinking 2 shakes a day, okay? Then we're going to move into getting them moving and getting them exercising and things like that. But if that's not something they're already doing, don't have them do it. Don't make them feel like they have to take so much on, because I guarantee they're going to say no or not right now, because they're going to feel like it's just too big of a commitment. And we know that it is. Okay? So just keep it as simple as possible. Don't go into the compensation plan about the business. Don't talk about the 8 different ways to get paid. Don't talk about exactly how to win the weekly enrollers pool. They don't need to hear about all of that. Okay? All right. Principle number 4 is it's not about you. It is not about you. This is not a one-size-fits-all business. We know that from the slide a few times before, talking about the diversity of people that are in this industry. So this is not one size fits all. You can't talk to someone who grew up in a very poor neighborhood and who, has worked at a factory their whole life, the same way that you would talk to someone that has grown up in a so-called privileged life and lives in $1 million home. Okay? You don't talk to them exactly the same way. You're the same, but you don't talk to them the same way. You develop skills to learn how to relate to everybody. You have to approach every call, every interview, and every presentation from your prospect's perspective. So whether you've grown up on the wrong side of the tracks or you've grown up in $1 million home, that is just perspective. You want to be able to develop the skill to share other people's perspective, whether you have personally experienced it or not. You can relate something that they're talking about to something that you have experienced. If you really listen, you can always, always do it. I was actually on the phone with someone, and, one of their people was really kind of reaching out to me, struggling with staying on the challenge and things like that. And this person is probably about 100 pounds overweight. And so I called their sponsor and I said, hey, you really should reach out to this person. And, I said, this is what they're sharing, blah, blah, blah. And this particular sponsor is not overweight. That is not something that they have personally struggled with. So, that person was communicating, wow, I don't really know how to relate to this person. I'm not sure how they feel because I've never struggled with really being overweight like that. And I said, well, you've had financial struggles, right? Yeah. It's the same thing in a sense. We have all struggled with something where we've lost control, we've made bad decisions, we have, gotten sucked into living in this victim mode of life. We've come to believe that things aren't possible for us. We've kind of lost hope, whether it's financially, physically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it is. Hopefully, we've all felt that way or at one time or another. Otherwise, we've completely guarded our feelings to the point where we basically feel nothing. And hopefully none of you guys on the line are in that position. But we've all experienced disappointment. We've all experienced challenges. We've all experienced feeling hopeless. We've all experienced not really knowing which way to turn, just feeling really confused, like feeling like somebody put a blindfold on us and spun us around 50 times and we don't really know which direction we need to go into. Find a way to relate to that person, okay? She also talks about how, is this the same section? Yes. The time for details, to really go into details about the product or the business, that's a training. Prospecting is the time to connect with your prospects and for them to connect with you. The fastest way to connect is to show a genuine interest in your prospect's life. Ask about the person's family and friends. Find out where the person's passions lie, what the person does in his or her spare time, or where the person works and where he or she went to college. When you show you are interested in the prospects, he or she will be interested in you. You cannot just approach someone about this business and why you love it and why you're doing it and why they should do it and da-da-da, and just come across with this very brash approach. Okay? You've got to ask a million questions to really find those sweet spots, and then you talk specifically about that. It is very much tailored to that individual person. Principle number 5. Emotion carries more weight than logic. I've talked about this on a lot of calls too. People are driven by emotion, not logic, okay? We think we're these logical people. No. We base our decisions on our feelings, and then we justify them with logic and reason, okay? Really, 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 really think about it. Really think about it, okay? Every single decision we make comes from how it makes us feel. Then our brain kicks in, and our logic kicks in, and our wisdom kicks in, and we justify it, okay? So she talks about, here's how one former nurse who became a party planner tells her story at parties. So just listen to how she's making people feel by what she's saying. I was at work when the phone rang. It was my son's babysitter, and she said, your baby just turned over for the first time. all I could think of was that I wasn't there, and when it happened, in that second I decided to resign my job and I wanted to be home with my son. So after hearing her story at this party, every parent in the room experiences an immediate emotional instinctive reaction. So if you want to touch hearts, then you want to speak from the heart, okay? Not, this is going to be slamming, this is going to be the best business ever, you know, this is going to be so much fun, yeah, this is the best challenge in the world. Why? Get deeper, okay? Do not live in the shallow end of the pool, okay? Go, you know, get your feet up, you know, gain some strength and really, really get into these people's hearts. They need that. They want that. They're craving that. And if you're one of the few people in their life that provides that, guess what? They're in, baby, okay? They are in business with you. Principle number 6, build relationships. The day you started your network marketing business, you started a career in the relationship business. Take away the relationship aspect of network marketing, and nothing separates you from any other retailer, direct marketer, or online seller. Okay? So if all you ever talk about with your team members is the business, guess what? You don't really have a relationship with that person. If you're not talking about kids, if you're not talking about vacations, if you're not talking about what you made for dinner, if you're not, you know, hanging out, if you guys, you know, want to hang out, this is about building relationships with you guys, okay? This is not just about having a business relationship with your team members. Yes, there will be people that you know, that is all you talk about, but the majority of the time, you should be able to talk about something outside of that. I don't care what it is. But somehow you've identified that you relate to that person in other areas outside of ViSalus. Okay? I mean, just understand that prospects sign with people they like, and they stay with people that they like. They can go to work and be around people that they can't stand and that don't appreciate them. All right, principle number 7, work the numbers. Not everyone you approach will join, and not everyone will stay. Most will join with small goals. Others will join because they are intent on reaching the top ranks of the business. A few will have what it takes to make it happen, while others will be dreamers who lack the determination and discipline required. You need to approach lots of people. Work your business like a numbers game if you want to join the top income earners, because that is how it works. You cannot continue to pull from people that are not moving whatsoever, and then bang your head against the wall and get frustrated and say this business doesn't work or you're not good at network marketing. No, you need to become a better recruiter and understand the fact that you are always bringing new people onto your team. You are always bringing fresh, new, excited people into the business. The best way to cure old problems is with new people. That doesn't mean that you stop caring for the people that have been around a while and aren't moving. That doesn't mean you're not still friends with them. That doesn't mean when they call you don't answer the phone, okay? But that is not where you are spending the majority of your time. You're spending the majority of your time and the majority of your focus with the people that are moving. That is not personal. That is just how network marketing works, okay? So maybe you're one of the people that isn't moving and you want to get upset with your sponsor or with the person that enrolled you or with whoever your team leader is. But just understand that is never personal. Every single month we have a handful of people that we can really put our focus on. That doesn't mean if you want to do a 3-way call or you want to have a challenge party or you want to go through another getting started training that we are going to say no to you. But we are not going to call you every day and ask if you're ready, okay? Just really be reasonable about it, you know? So you got to work the numbers. You got to work the numbers. Principle number 8, it's never too soon to start. The sooner you start recruiting, the sooner you will get results. You may struggle with the thought of recruiting when you're new, but think for a moment about when you were most excited about anything. When it's new, of course. Enthusiasm carries more weight than details, so don't waste that positive energy, okay? We call it beat the box in the industry. Anything that you can do before your kit arrives, that is doing something, you guys, okay? I have someone that I just brought into the business last week. He hasn't gotten his ESS kit, but he's already put me on the phone with a handful of people, and, you know, now they want to taste it, and now we're waiting on his box to come in so he can have his first challenge party. But it's not like he waited till he got the box. He waited to look at all the products in there. He waited to read through all the material in his distributor kit. He read every label of all the products. No. He watched the Getting Started training. He came into the business. He emailed me his list, and we started talking to people right away. So it is never too soon to start. Principle number 9, recruit with integrity. Hype is the #1 enemy of this business, okay? If you tell me I can make $20,000 a month within 6 months or 3 months or 1 month or whatever people want to say, you will have one disillusioned puppy on your hands when it doesn't happen. Enthusiasm is no excuse for exaggerating or misrepresenting the effort required to build a business or the rewards that can be earned. It takes time, commitment, and a willingness to learn to become a top income earner. Okay? So don't tell people, oh, well, you just sign up and I'll work the business for you. Okay? Don't make those promises to people. It's not realistic. Okay? If you back your belief in your opportunity with realistic explanations and a genuine desire to help your prospects, you will build a stable organization of people who understand that rewards follow results. Your value-packed opportunity does not need embellishing. Okay? Here we go. Principle number 10, lead by example. You can't expect others to do what you do not do. Okay? It's just like your kids. They will do what you say. They will not do as you say. They will do as you do. Okay? You have got to lead by example. That is extremely, extremely important in this business. Okay? So you will never see an ambassador saying that they've completely stopped recruiting people. The focus shifts for sure. You know, when you have 500, 1,000, 10,000 people on your team, your focus does shift. But they are still constantly always bringing new people into the business. So you want to lead by example. You lead by example in your personal challenge. You lead by example in the business. Okay? So those are all the slides, you guys. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please shoot them over now. Hopefully this has been helpful for you guys. Like I said, this is not going to be the last time we're going to be covering this book. I've really, that was chapters 1 and 2. And there are, let's see, 34 chapters in this book. I'm not saying we're going to go through all of it, but those first couple of chapters, I mean, there was just a ton of information that I figured would be helpful for you guys. And every chapter I go through is stuff that you guys really want to know. Okay? So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Let's see. Oh, Mary's husband is Wayne Christensen. Okay, good. Yes, Mary and Wayne Christensen. So I went to Amazon. That's typically where I order my books. I got this one, and I also got by her Make Your First Million in Network Marketing. And I'm kind of going through both of them back and forth. That's a great book, too. So, thank you, Ginger. Thank you, Dar. Yes, I am recording this, and I typically get it up by the next morning. It just depends on how quickly or slowly it decides to upload and download and all that good stuff. But that's a wrap, you guys. Thanks, you guys, for taking the time to tune in. I always appreciate it. Like I said, I will definitely get this recording up as quickly as possible. I will do roll call. Hold on. Dun, dun, dun. You're welcome. My pleasure. Okay, we have Beth Markham, Charmaine Green, Charnel Sutton, Christy Malham, Dale Lewis, Dar Kemp, Dave Fair, hopefully I'm not demolishing that last name, Dwayne Brody, Ginger Urban, Jacqueline Richardson, Jeannie Full, Jennifer Burlingham, Carla Bishop, Kay Lancaster, Ladiva Gary, Michelle Barefoot, Pam Wellens, Rhonda and Tim Dean, Rhonda Michael, Rose Swain, Sherry Jett, Terry Hart, and Zoe Hanson. Oh, and Renee is on the phone. Cool. All right, you guys. This is a wrap. Thanks again. Talk to you soon. Finish the month strong. Love you guys.